If you look at the unfair trade practices that we have, 50% from the European Union on American dairy. You have a 700% tariff from Japan on American rice. You have a 100% tariff from India on American agricultural products. You have nearly a 300% tariff from Canada on American butter and American cheese. This makes it virtually impossible for American products to be imported into these markets, and it has put a lot of Americans out of business and out of work over the past several decades. So it's time for reciprocity, and it's time for a president to take historic change to do what's right for the American people.
Through the media noise with bold, unfiltered clarity, she doesn't pull punches, whether she's shutting down gotcha questions or calling out double standards in the press. Karoline keeps showing exactly why she's the press secretary everyone's talking about. Can you believe it? Even with all the hard numbers right in front of them, the media still dares you in for a treat. We're back with Karoline Leavitt doing what she does best, cutting to bash Trump's tariffs. It's like they'd rather side with foreign powers and admit a policy is actually putting America first. And no, this isn't about worshiping one man. It's about waking up to reality that every other country looks out for itself. And finally, so are we, now that we're standing up for our own interests. Suddenly they're crying, free trade, please. Up next, a reporter tries to grill the administration over deporting violent criminals, because apparently enforcing the law is controversial now.
And so I think it's a question that everybody in this room should be looking into, because certainly that would propose perhaps criminal or illegal behavior if staff members were signing the President of the United States autograph without his consent.
Is on the record talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden White House.
Is there any evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out.
The left and its media echo chamber have been in full-blown panic mode ever since Trump began delivering on a key campaign promise, removing violent gang members from the country. And let's be clear, they're here illegally. You'd think getting dangerous criminals off American streets would be something everyone could agree on. But now that it's actually happening, the mainstream media is spinning it into some kind of moral crisis. Karoline wasn't having it. She seized the moment, called out the reporter's loaded questions, and shut it down fast and hard.
As for switching up seating in the briefing room, it's something we are seriously considering. And we tried to broker a meeting with the White House Correspondents Association board today to discuss that matter. But unfortunately, their president sent out a fundamentally unserious email to the rest of their membership, making it clear that this is a group that doesn't care about press freedom, transparency, and access for all media voices, but just cares about having their monetized monopoly over the briefing room. And I would remind them that the briefing room is part of the people's house. It belongs to the American people. It does not belong to elitist journalists here in Washington, D.C.
Let's talk about Andrew Feinberg. He was so rattled after Karoline schooled him in the briefing room that he ran straight to The Independent and dropped an article complaining. Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt didn't appreciate my question about how the government is making sure innocent people aren't misidentified as dangerous gangsters. He even threw in a dramatic shame on you. Well, Andrew, maybe if you asked better questions, you wouldn't keep getting publicly embarrassed. You know, like a real journalist. Oh, and while we're calling things out, I noticed you haven't liked this video or subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? And of course, no highlight reel is complete without Karoline absolutely dismantling CNN's own Caitlin Collins. Let's roll.
President Trump asked in his speech last night, how could anyone possibly be opposed to any of this action that he is taking? Well, apparently, the modern-day Democrat Party could. And it's not just the Democrat Party. The mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first chyron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were. And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech.
Exactly. House Speaker Mike Johnson just revealed that President Biden had no idea he signed an executive order halting the export of liquid natural gas. Let that sink in. A president signs off on a policy with massive economic consequences, and doesn't even realize what he's approving. Now that the mainstream media is finally starting to wake up to one of the biggest political cover-ups of our time, we're left asking some serious questions. Who's really been calling the shots these past 4 years? And why did it take this long for any of it to come to light? But instead of pressing for answers, CNN's Karoline Collins went right back to playing the role of activist, not journalist, which set the stage for this epic showdown.
It's just 43 pounds that were found last year. That's less than a carry-on suitcase. Is that a lot of fentanyl compared to, say, Mexico? The vast majority of the fentanyl is brought in through Mexico, not Canada. So what else does Canada need to do?
Well, I just told you, last year alone, there was a 2,000% increase in illegal fentanyl. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe. And frankly, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the families in this country who have lost loved ones at the hands of this deadly poison. If you talk to them, and this president has, they are grateful that they finally have a president who is standing up to both Canada and Mexico, and most importantly, to China as well.
She only pretends to be a reporter when it's time to go after the Trump administration. The rest of the time, she's just another full-time propagandist. Every segment is laser-focused on pushing whatever narrative the establishment is serving up that day. Funny how we never saw her, or anyone at CNN, press Jen Psaki or Karine Jean-Pierre with the same intensity. That alone proves this isn't journalism. It's scripted theater wrapped in a news ticker. And speaking of calling it out, here's Karoline delivering a direct message to the White House Correspondents Association. Spoiler alert, she did not hold back. This all came after the White House Correspondents Association threw a full-blown tantrum over reports that the administration might start managing seating arrangements during press briefings. Let's be honest, it's a simple, common-sense update. But of course, they're spinning it as some grave threat to press freedom, clinging to decades-old traditions like they're sacred. Here's the truth. It doesn't matter who's in the front row. Unlike the last administration, this one is actually holding regular briefings with both the press secretary and the president, and everyone's getting a fair shot to ask questions. Interview 7. This came right after Democrats sat stone-faced during Trump's State of the Union, barely even pretending to show a shred of human emotion. But the moment that truly exposed their lack of basic decency, when DJ Daniel, a young brain cancer survivor, was named an honorary Secret Service member. Any decent person would have been moved, but not them. To make it worse, MSNBC's Rachel Maddow and Nicole Wallace dove into Olympic-level mental gymnastics, accusing Trump of using the boy for political clout. Pure projection.